So today we're in Scarborough, Ontario, and we are going to do some geocaching on the Line 3, which is coming right behind me here. This line is not long for this world. They're planning on taking it out of service this fall. So we're definitely going to try and get some use out of it today. Get some geocaches along it. And yeah, really excited. Okay, let's have a little rundown of the history here. It was originally a West German maglev train that was developed in the 1970s, but it was cancelled after the German government withdrew. The Ontario government redeveloped it with steel wheels instead of the maglev levitation, and then the route itself was originally for TTC streetcars, but the government was going to withdraw their support and funding if they didn't use the intermediate capacity transit system. In 1985, it finally opened. The cars themselves are called the S Series, built in 1983, with 2 more sets being built in 1986, putting the cars at nearly 40 years old. In 2015, the trains were shrink-wrap blue to help keep them going through the wear and tear. Finally, it was decided after much debate to replace the lines with a subway line in 2030, with the Line 3 itself closing in fall 2023. So in addition to the geocaching today, my plan was to experience the train for myself and decide whether it was worth keeping or replacing. The start of our journey was the Scarborough Centre Station. This station is near the Scarborough Civic Centre, which was formerly Scarborough City Hall, before it amalgamated with Toronto. It is also the location of the Scarborough Town Centre Mall, which is a pretty expansive shopping mall. Below the station is a bus terminal, and it's going to be the end of the line for the future Scarborough subway. Finally, in addition to myself, I convinced my wife and nearly 2-year-old son, as well as my parents, to come along for the ride. Okay, coming up. There we go.
Right side?
Yes. We're on the right side. Oh, here it comes. Look at this. What do you think, Charlie? Line 3 had a reputation for being kind of loud due to its lack of repairs and maintenance, so I'm going to give you a volume warning. This was our first impression of the train. Our first stop was Midland Station. The station actually has a pretty cool aesthetic on the outside, however the area is pretty industrial. So the river down here. Cool station. to our second stop, Ellesmere, and it became apparent there was another issue: accessibility. We brought our stroller for Charlie, but there was no way for him to get out of the station, so one of us would have to stay, and then the others would have to kind of hurry so we could get back and not leave one of us behind for too long. Our next stop was Lawrence East. Another station very similar to Ellesmere. This one has an underpass. Doesn't connect to the station, just goes to the other side. Lawrence Station. Lawrence East. A little bus stop here. So as you can see here, Lawrence East also has limited accessibility. No elevator. They have stairs and an escalator, but no elevator for wheelchairs. So I imagine that was a big factor when they were kind of determining how much it would cost to replace the line. Now on to our final stop, Kennedy Station, which is the end of the line. So here we are at Kennedy Station. So here. At Kennedy Station, you can still see the circle here that would have been the turnaround for the streetcars, but it was too tight for the S-Series cars, so they don't use it. See, they used to loop around, but then they cut it off. Now it just backs out and then switches to the other track. Kennedy Station. I like the old clock there too. It's kind of cool. Lots of pigeons. So with that, we headed back towards Scarborough Centre, actually going by Scarborough Station to McCowan Station, the first station on the actual line. The line actually goes further to McCowan Yard, but that's actually just a repair area, so that's not accessible. So McCowan Station is where we stopped. Where did my parents go? So that was our trip for Line 3. I found McCowan Station to be kind of the silliest station because it's only maybe a few minutes away from Scarborough Centre, but otherwise it was a fun trip. Fortunately, Line 3 didn't make it to its actual fall 2023 date. It derailed a few weeks after that we actually took this trip, and 5 people were injured, but thankfully no one died. And then they kind of had to pull the plug after that. So unfortunately, Line 3 is no longer running, but I guess we'll look forward to the future subway line, and I'm glad I was able to do this before they closed it off.